Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good. Last session, we opened this change here. Okay, let's take a look at these two here, maybe. Yeah. Refactor. Refactor. Clang tidy. I suspect this file was not meant to be added with this commit. Empty. M sounds empty, yeah. Not empty. It's not 0, not empty. 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 Not empty, yeah. Not empty. Length larger than 0. I suspect this change only. I suspect Clang Tidy only finds STD related cases. We still need the same change for ASCII string and other internal types. Same kind of change for ASCII string and other internal types. Yeah. As it can be configured. For other types. empty. Empty, not empty. Empty. Not empty. Smaller equals 0. Oof. With STL port and std list. Not empty. Empty. I'm amazed by how many variations they have for writing empty. Like they use size, length, not length, length. Really extra confusing. Empty. Empty. Not empty. Empty. Not empty. Not empty. Not empty. Empty. Not empty. Yep. Not empty. Not empty. Not empty. Empty. Not size. Empty. Yeah. Okay, that's correct. Not empty. Not empty. empty. It requires mental gymnastics to understand these things, yeah. Empty, yeah. Not empty. Empty. Not empty. You've seen that already. Empty, empty. Not empty. Empty. Not empty. Not empty. Empty, not empty. Not empty. Not empty. Empty. Not empty. Empty. Not empty. Not empty. Not empty. Yeah, not empty. Not empty. Not empty. Okay, everything looks correct. Performance. Okay. Zero, 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 not zero. It somehow missed the second condition expression. Looks like clang tidy has some issue. I hear it's missing. Several times in this change. Same here. 0, 0, 0. It's a bit worrying to see such an obvious bug with the 2. It lowers the confidence in it. Let's compare 0. Here it did detect it correctly. Okay. Zero, 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 zero. Zero, zero. Zero, not zero, zero, not zero. Here it did work correctly. Look at that. Zero. Good. I wonder, is this only, why is there no tool file affected? Here's this wrong. I'm surprised that no file of tools was touched. Is this correct? Or did it not search in tools? Good. Good. Then I will now, we can remove this one here. Good. Then we can go back to work in progress camera. And first we remove generals and tools and this one. Then we change this branch. Then, right, now we have the challenge. Yeah, first we do a generate. We now need to rebase the camera code on top of main. Yeah, that will be the challenge now. Regarding this change here, follow up, clean up, define null, replace remaining nulls. Remaining nulls. This is touch tools. It does touch tools, but only one file here. Yeah, that's suspicious. Only one file in tools would have used a null? That sounds not right. If we search here for null, we get 20,000 20,000 results. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what does this change do? It did touch nulls. Yeah. So how many lines did it touch? 8,000. Let me write here. When I search for null across whole projects, then it finds 20,231 nulls. But this but this change only touched 8,724. Why is this large discrepancy? Yeah, so it's something that needs looking at. I wonder if this Clang tidy tool is complete, like that it actually finds everything, or that it just skips certain things because there are bugs in it. Which I wouldn't be surprised if this is full of bugs and doesn't do what it promises, because nowadays no programmer can write bug-free software anymore. Like everyone just writes absolute garbage code from start to finish, and I don't understand it. Because I think what happens is that people they rush their work. They don't take the time to really make it correct. They just want to get it done, get it out of the door, and it worked in an isolated test case, but they didn't apply it on a proper code base, didn't test it properly, and it doesn't work. So, like, to me, this looks highly suspicious here. We have 20,000 nulls, and it only touched 8,000. So, clearly something is not right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Regarding this change, probably the same question. By the way, let me also search here for, did merge this today, size of this. Still in here. Are there two of these? Huh, looks like it didn't touch that. What did he? Ah, no, we are an old branch, never mind. Did this guy touch any tools? Only one. This change only touched one file in all of the tools. Is this change really complete? Or did it skip? Did it skip things? So if we search for inline, there are 5,291. Okay, this inline is correct. This as well. Maybe it's correct. Five, two. So how many were touched? 1,300. In total, there are 5291 inlines and 510 files. Good. Good. So then someone needs to look into the slow PC package. Good. So let's compile this, and then we need to rebase this branch on main, or a copy of this branch. Yeah, I probably make a copy. I don't don't want to break the camera branch. We have now multiple camera branches. This one, this one, and here's another one. I think this one can be deleted. Yeah, I think we can delete the render update here. This one has already been merged a long time ago. Yeah. Delete. What about this here? Then I'm gonna show hero, right? I think this can also be deleted. This hot bonus, I think this has been merged already, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Hod. Merge hot update and related code. No retail. Yeah, this one is merged as well. Can delete that as well. And this as well. And then this one, drawable update fixes. This one was work in progress. Yeah, I don't know if I return to this. This one, I think this one we actually didn't do. This one will be deleted. Okay, I can delete that. Good. Good, then I will go here, fix camera, and we create a copy of this branch. Yeah. Good, then we see what happens if we try to rebase it. I suspect there will be bad conflicts. Yeah. That's a bit unexpected. Okay. Okay. Is that correct? Okay. Okay, I'm actually surprised that it went as smooth as it just did. I wonder if there was some mistake. Okay, so views here. Okay. That actually looks pretty promising. That went smoother than I thought it would. Okay, let's see if that still compiles though. This works for me on Mac and Windows. Oof. I think this one was reopened, right? Yeah. I will ask OmniBlade to review that. Can you look over this thing? Okay. Will that Omniblade. Good. That looks promising. Okay, this one actually did compile without errors. That's very nice. Cool. Okay. Good. Then next step is we need to look into the height map thingy again. That's the last issue that we are aware of. The origin position. I can't remember what we last said about this. I think there was somewhere where I was testing if 0 here. If 1. No. Oh, where is it? Here, world height map. No. Height map, height map. No. Where is it? This one here. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so we tested here a whole bunch of different strategies. We tested few corners at world at Z. I don't know what that was. Very fast approximation, works perfectly with top-down view, good enough with regular view, and all right with ground view. Yeah, but all right is not good enough. We want perfection, right? So that's a problem. Yeah, this one was where we simply took the view deer and we shifted the pivot a bit, and then we just took that. Yeah, it wasn't ideal. Sure. Yeah. Okay, so when the pitch is low, then how do we deal with it? performs. I mean, it would be epic if we can get rid of this shit here, this function call, well, and all this other shit here. But I mean, performance is a good consideration here. If we can calculate this more cheap, then this would be great. Okay, how about we test these things again? So it's good that I didn't delete the code. So how about, so this was, what's the difference here? Let's test this here. Good, we go to our favorite DEFCON map, yeah, because that's a good map to test on. So it's not bad. It really is not bad, but it's not optimal either. So here we have an issue down here. Overall, we can't, the terrain is not rendering large enough. Yeah. So the pivot point will be somewhere here, right? So it's really not that bad. It works well up to, let me sell the command center here. So here we already see it doesn't work up to this point, right? So it works okay. It works okay to pitch of 32 roundabouts. The default pitch is 37.5, which is somewhere here, right? That's a default pitch. For that, it works perfectly. Or does it not? No, it does not work perfectly. There's an issue there. It would be interesting to know how far this really goes down there. I think there is a bug like here when we scroll like this. It seems to me that there's a bug. Let me go to W3D view. Updates. Updates. When we do the scrolling here, then it's within camera height constraints. Scrolling. Here, why is this not hitting? It's within camera height constraints. You know, maybe we should say here const bool. So the issue I'm seeing here right now, when we scroll here, we are now under the terrain. So it's not adjusting unless we scroll slowly. See that? Now it adjusts. So to me it looks like we need to not scrolling too fast. Not scrolling. Yeah, we need another condition here where we say bool is within is above ground. Is above ground. Which is this one, height above ground. Is camera above ground. I think it's simply this, terrain height under camera. I guess it's this larger than that. I guess. Current height above ground. So I goes at tweak. Today's 7th, 12, 25. Let's write something here. Is camera above ground? So current height above ground. Is this larger than this? Yeah. Say here or not. Let's try that. How about put this here on the next line. Okay, so make a low pitch. Yeah. And that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Not as camera with ground. Ground height. Ground height. Ah. Right. The question is, where's the real? How do we get the real camera height? Probably a 3D camera. Yeah. Ground level. Yeah, I suspect we have to take this guy here. Camera class. Get position. Let me say here. Const vector 3 camera pos equals 3D camera. What was it called? Oh boy. Here, 3D camera. It hangs. Get position. Then we say here camera position dot z is higher than terrain height on the camera. Okay, let's try that. Let's move this up here. Yeah, but I think that's not complete either, because So the problem with this is that it will stop moving as soon as the camera is just a tiny bit above the ground, but maybe it should move into reasonable heights, to the height it would move if we were just idle. How do we do that? So this would be a small improvement already, but it wouldn't be the real deal, I think. Yeah, it's not the real deal, but it's helping a bit. Yeah. How do we get it to? How do we get it to? How do we get position behind? Maybe we say if M get camera offset Z. I'm not sure. Camera position Z. Current height above ground. So basically, the camera is too low. maybe this is good enough. Maybe we just add a bit of a cushion there. I don't know, plus, I don't know, 10 something. That seems arbitrary. But it is still too low. I think that is the idea, that if we scroll like this, it does not go up. This works as long as yeah, maybe we just put a fixed cushion here. I don't know, 20F. Maybe not, I don't know. That doesn't help here. Like, we are basically exactly now on terrain level, right? Maybe the solution there is to say height constraints. Within height constraints. It's below min height. This one is not working. You would assume that this one takes care of it, but somehow it does not. Hmm. Oh, why not? I don't know. Um, oh. Ah. It's weird that when we zoom closer, then it seemingly works better. Why? That I don't understand. Terrain height under camera. Current height above ground. Camera offset Z times zoom minus this. This was in height constraints. Yeah, it's really strange. Why is it doing that? Right. Okay. I really don't know how I can do this properly. This one is meant to take care of this, but there must be some way to do this. I just can't think of it right now. Okay, let's keep that in mind for another time. I don't know right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's not so important. Yeah. Not so important. Okay, we still don't know what to do with the terrain. Well, the question is, where's this file? I don't know. Height map. There we go. I think we have way too many files open. Close. Other tabs. What's up with this music here? Jesus Christ. Oof. So slow. Height map. So, so we have this here. What was the difference here? We had another scale here. Edgeland scale. But here we had that too. This one looks identical to this one, doesn't it? Okay, and what did this do here? Oof. Well, that looks bad. Okay. I wonder if there's any way we can salvage this implementation here. Or the other one for that matter. This one. Yeah, the problem is we have this magic scale here. I can see the blackness already here. There's a huge amount of wasted space here. So it's not good. So there's FOV. So the line is down here where the oil derrick is, yeah? So now we change the FOV back. Ah, well, that's not good. Let's put another line here. So here where the supply hits this bottom corner here, yeah. Okay, and now we zoom out, FOV out. So as we can see, all this is wasted space. But on the other hand, it's kind of needed because if we rotate the camera, if you rotate the camera by 45 degrees, yeah, minus 45. Now, so there's 50. So let's put the supply depot here in the corner. Yeah. So here's a corner. And now we FOV out. Yeah. Okay, there's quite a lot of dead space here. It's not optimally placed, I would say. Yeah. It would be optimal if it was... if it was further downwards. Yeah. So this is not perfectly centered. This is moving forward. I wonder... I wonder if we can improve the approximation more. So So basically what we try to find is an optimal center position for this terrain rectangle. optimal in quotes. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be good enough that it looks efficiently placed in most situations. So for example here, when we go down 10, that's not optimal here. How can we improve the positioning? So the improve a better positioning is especially interesting for this extreme here, right? Where we have this camera rotated and then we have this very low terrain here, and so it means we can see very, very far, and then it renders this black hole there. Yeah. So if we were to optimize it, then it has to be that it pushes this back a bit, and then maybe we get some black down here, but ideally not. If we zoom out here, like where does the black start? Yeah, see, there's a lot of room here. So this is really not optimal. So let's put this light post here. Well, let's put this bunker. Well, what do we put there? Yeah, this light here, this light post. So there's all this dead space here. Here, all of this is dead space that is not available for us. Same down here, right? So it is a significant chunk. So it's not optimal at all. Yeah. Magic Edge Lens Scale. This one needs to scale here. We already tested this with different values, I remember. Actually, let's test this with a more extreme value. Like, actually, let's put this to no scale. How about that? Let's set that to 1. Okay. No downscale. Yeah. Just to get a feeling for how does it look without any scaling. Well, that looks bad. Okay. Okay, that looks unexpected. That really is unexpected. Why does it look like that? Huh. How? I don't know. It's weird. That's some real shit. So I suspect the approximation is good if we move this forward and it would stay like relatively in the middle of this, right? So let's set this to 0.5. But Okay. Let's sell the command center. Okay, so. Yeah, it relatively stays in the center. Roundabout. Yeah. It's not bad. Just from this angle, it's somewhat close to the center, right? Yeah. You could say for an approximation, it's working all right. Right? It's decent. Yeah. But in practice it will be problematic. Because that doesn't look good. Yeah. Even though it's well approximated, as you can see, here we have stuff, and here, yeah. I think the problem may be just that the area is too small. But the approximation looks good. Like the camera is rotated by around 45 degrees, and we see a little bit of black down here and a bit of black up there, right? So it's pretty okay in that regard, but the area is too small. Oof. Looks bad. Looks bad, man. That's Oh. Hmm. Yeah, maybe it's a dead end. I don't know. It would be cool if that would work, but I mean, it's in the center, right? But the problem is that when we zoom in closer, then it's not in the center anymore. Why is that? Ah, it's because the tiles are not proportional. Like here, we have far more tiles in here than down here, right? Yeah. Okay, it's like let's gradually lower this. Let's go to 0.4. I know I already tested this a bunch of videos ago. Well, let's do it again. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is as soon as we change the fourth, then it immediately will fall apart. Yeah. It's curious that this one looks so much better when we have it at 45-degree angle. That's weird. Why is that? You would assume that this is identical. That we still would see a blackness down here, but we don't. That's weird. Yeah. It's not great. No. I mean, overall, the approximation is really not that bad, but it's not perfect, and it's hard to justify this, right? Is there any way we can improve the accuracy of the approximation by combining it with some other metric, some other measurements? So right now we have a scaled center point. A scaled center point. There must be some way. I just can't think of it. How can we improve this? Essentially, we want to find here the corner positions, the what is intersection Z? It's the minimum. I don't know. So this one tries to get the view corners at world Z and takes the minimum height. So on DEFCON that would be 0. But I think this brings a problem of its own. That's interesting. So this is fair. It has a... Interesting. It shifts much quicker forward. Why? How do we enable wireframe? There we go. Terrain is really quite detailed, isn't it? I don't know. View corners. Set from points, no Z. I don't know. I will take a break here. Has been 2 hours. Right now I have no good strategy for this terrain thing. But we need some strategy. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Then I will end it here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time, goodbye.